American crappy nutrition for low quality food at a low price, called fast food, and all the stuff that comes from the grocery store, is our lead cup, as we say about the Romans. They died from the lead cup. Our lead cup is GMO and soy.
As a responsible person with growing concerns for your privacy and personal liberty, you want to know where we're headed and what you can do about it. We ask the experts what you need to do to take prudent and responsible action to safeguard your family's wealth and well-being, and what basic first steps will help you to be aware and prepared. ReluctantPreppers.com.
Beyond being a medical doctor, you also have built physical shelters. You've worked on water supplies. You've worked on food production. Can you walk us through, sort of maybe from the outside in, what have you found effective in a low-cost, low-technology environment for, say, physical security, physical shelter, and then working your way on into the more of this vital sustaining stuff?
I mean, one of the reasons why I'm happy I own a compound in Haiti is because I don't have to worry about freezing to death in February. Okay, I think all these people that dig a hole underground and make a bunker in North Dakota are going to end up with vitamin D deficiency and not be able to go outside. You know, my hidey-hole is already well made and established. And so first of all, I go, if you can, try and get shelter that doesn't require a lot of fuel. When the fuel runs out, you don't really have anything but a cold shelter. Obviously subterranean, at least you're 55 degrees. The power goes out, move in the basement, right? Because it's warmer down there. Shelter's a tough one. Water we need to be storing. Okay, we all know that now. We learned that from the mycotoxin event. Okay, and any intelligent people have at least got 20 gallons in the basement now. Unfortunately, they're all storing it all in plastic, which is of course contaminated with styrenes and estrogen, and will make all of the men weak and irritable as their testosterone tanks. You really should be storing stuff in polycarbonate, like the blue Collingwood bottles. Those are polycarbonate. You shouldn't have it in a Homer bucket from Home Depot. That's not polycarbonate, right? And so, water's obvious, and everybody should be paying attention to a system for rainwater collection if they can do it. Very important. If anything got ongoing, where are you going to go? Okay, and people forget too that if you've got 3 toilets, you got 6 gallons of water in the back of 3 tanks. And don't flush those. If you run out of water, don't flush your toilets until you've salvaged that water, right? I actually thought about that the day the thing happened. I went, I don't have any water. And I went, yeah, I do. Right? I got stuff in the back of the tanks. Nothing wrong with that water. Stay out of the bowl, though, right? And so that's really water and shelter. Food's tough. I'm food saving hard. I have more food today than I had last year, and more than the year before that, and I'm getting more and more careful. I think that too many people are dependent on freeze-dried products and forget how many things have a long shelf life that keep very, very well. Again, especially if they're nitrogen packed. You take a 5-gallon bucket of beans and fill it with nitrogen from the bottom up, put the cap on it, and it's going to keep forever. It's all about oxidation, right? Rice is very stable for a long time. Everybody, pasta is storable, nice square little boxes, comes in nice unit doses, but our problem we're going to have is fats and proteins. And I may not eat luxuriantly, but I'll eat in a balanced fashion because I've got coconut oil and I've got peanut oil. Stay away from soy oil and vegetable oils because, of course, soy is more estrogen, and you don't want to do that ever, let alone in a time of crisis. So you want to get into, your good quality oils. You put 5 gallons of peanut oil from Gordon Foods on your shelf, it's going to keep for 10 years. Now that's high quality food with excellent content, high caloric output, and it's going to improve the taste of rice and the taste of everything you do. I have 2 cases of Spam. We make spaghetti in Haiti all the time. It's one of our favorite foods. And if you take Spam and put it in a little peanut oil and brown it up a little bit and drop it into a can of tomato sauce, and make sure you buy those things like tomato sauce in unit sizes that you don't have to store, because it won't store well, right? Boy, you can feed a lot of people off of a relatively thin tomato covering of a little bit of Spam with some peanut oil and spaghetti or rice, okay? The old classic hams keep really well. They just keep getting drier and drier. If you stop by at an Amish sales place where they sell the hanging fabric covered hams, we lost one in a container down in Haiti one time. And I went, oh no, it was, $40 worth of ham, and my buddy said, just drop it in salt water. And I mean, it looked terrible. It was all shriveled up and looked terrible. And he said, drop it in salt water. We mixed up some salt water, and next morning pulled it out. It was brand new. And it was 8 years old and had been in a container at 150 degrees every day for 8 years. And we found the bottom of a box and ate it. And so that concept of protecting your proteins and your lipids, it's easy to store carbs. It's hard to store proteins and lipids. So my freeze-dried stuff that I want, I get a lot of stuff from Honeyville, and I buy, those 5-pound cans of dried tomato powder. Now I have unit dosability and be able to reseal. I buy all of the dried vegetables. It's nice to be able to throw some dried onions and some dried garlic. Remember the value of spices. They improve. Get your Tabasco sauce. Tabasco sauce helps everything. People forget it's a flavor enhancer. Don't forget that you're a salt-based organism. You need salt. Buy 5 pounds of salt, and don't make it Morton. Make it real salt. Make it the stuff that isn't 6% toxic metals. What as Morton's saying is, when it rains, it pours. It's when it rains, it poisons. Okay? It's terrible stuff. There's a product out there called Real Salt. You can buy it in bulk. A lot of natural salts that are sea salts. Okay? We should be storing that. We should all be being very careful to keep ourselves salted.
So other mega trends that are happening in our ability to keep our family well, people are seeing, like for example, genetically modified food coming out. How are they going to get real food to keep their family healthy?
Well, let's try and see if we can run a quick list of what's wrong with our food, okay? The first thing that's wrong with our food is any corn-based product. High fructose corn syrup is absolutely toxic to the human body. Corn is a bad food. You can buy the original corn that used to be healthy from people. There's a farmer out in Orion. But all of your corn today is toxic. All of your soy is estrogen. That's why we can make plastics out of soy oil. But then they taught us that if we bake the wet sawdust, we can make food. No, you can't. You can't eat soy. It's estrogen. It's toxic. Read Kayla Daniels' book, The Whole Soy Story. Do not eat soy. It is bad. Do not drink things out of plastic. Plastics are made out of soy. Styrenes, as in steroids. Okay? And so nothing should be out of plastic. People who drink things out of plastic block their hormones. So we've got the whole soy issue. Then we've got the NutraSweet issue. Well, we just saw The View talking on Wednesday morning. This is like the 9th time we published a study that these diet products all cause weight gain and diabetes. Okay? Enough said, our people know that. Okay? Genetically modified food. It is ruining our immune systems. And we're stuck. We're now 96% penetration of soy, corn, and wheat in this country. It's why we have a gluten intolerance now. Most of us weren't gluten intolerant 5 years ago because wheat was wheat. But now, we've got this new GMO wheat, and it has a new antigenic locus for gluten, and we no longer know how to digest it, and we're all developing gluten enteropathy. We shouldn't be eating wheat unless it's organic wheat, okay? And so one of the things that we need to do to be prepared for a big virus coming through, like the one they just announced seems to look a little bit like polio, and they had 10 kids die now with get paralysis from this new virus that's sweeping through the country, is I guarantee you those 10 kids are all eating GMO food. And that if you give me that virus, or give my family who've been eating well, okay, the likelihood that that's going to happen to me is going to go down. We need to quit poisoning our immune system. American crappy nutrition for low quality food at a low price, called fast food, and all the stuff that comes from the grocery store, is our lead cup, as we say about the Romans. They died from the lead cup. Our lead cup is GMO and soy.